Hi everyone, and welcome back to Warren's Team Talk. Thanks very much for coming over and tuning into my channel. So what I've got for you today is I'm going to review match day 5 of the FA Premier League, which were the games from the weekend just gone. But before we do that, I just want to say I hope that you're all well and having a great day, whatever it is you're doing, wherever you are. And I hope that you're all happy and fine, really. While you're here, before we get started, I just wanted to ask you all to subscribe to my channel, and please make sure, if you haven't already done so, obviously, and please make sure that you hit the like button, and please make sure that you share the video around with anyone you think might be interested in seeing it. So, yes, if you can do that, that would be a really, really big help for me in my bid to try and build up my channel and make it bigger and better. All right. So, anyway, like I say, thanks for coming by. And if you're new, I'd like to give you a big warm welcome to the channel. And let's get on with it without any further ado. So, what we're doing, we're looking at match day 5, which was the weekend's Premier League fixtures just gone. And let's see. So this match day, it started off last Friday night with Newcastle United playing Leeds. And there's a big mistake here. There's something's not right. So the game on here, let me just change that. Hold on a sec. Yeah, so I think what we're going to do is I'm going to do this slightly differently because I'm worried about that. I've made a monumental mess up here. I thought I'd sorted this out, but clearly I haven't. So I'm really sorry about this, guys. It's a bit embarrassing, to be quite frank. Okay, so what we're going to do it slightly differently. So we're gonna get it from the internet, and we're gonna go here and okay, so yeah, the first game of the match day was Newcastle United against Leeds United, and the game ended in a 1-1 draw, which was a bit of a surprise for me, to be quite frank, because I thought Leeds would win that game quite comfortably in the end, really. But they didn't. Newcastle managed to get a draw out of the game. So, and in that game, I predicted that Leeds would win by 2-1. And then on the Saturday, we saw Brentford win 2-0 at Wolves. And Brentford had started the Premier League really well, and Wolves have been struggling. So I predicted that the game would end in a 1-1 draw. But yeah, as you can see, Brentford. Let me get rid of that because that. Right, that's good. And then this one as well. Right. Okay. So that's much better for me. Right. Okay. So yeah, Wolves and Brentford drew the game. I predicted that Wolves and Brentford would draw the game 1-1, and in fact, Brentford won the game by 2-0. And from what I heard, Ivan Toney played the game quite well. And then the next game was at Turf Moor, where Burnley took on Arsenal, and I thought that Arsenal would lose that game. I just didn't think they would stand up to the physical onslaught they were likely to get, and I thought that Burnley would win the game by 1-0. But actually, Arsenal put in a really gritty, determined performance and stood up to the physical challenge offered by Burnley. However, they didn't really offer that much going forward. Well, they sort of did, but they created lots of chances, but not. They didn't really take them. Well, they didn't take any of them, obviously, and they weren't really clear-cut chances. And their lack of cutting edge up front for me is a major issue and a major concern, because that's 2 games now, and we scored 1 goal that was a goalmouth scramble and 1 goal which was a set piece. The set piece goal, by the way, at Burnley was an absolute beauty. The way that Martin Odegaard dispatched that free kick was absolutely superb. But I have to say, again, following on from that video that I did about English football being violent, I have to say that nothing in this game led me to think that it isn't. And the referee did absolutely nothing about it. Now, I want to know why it is that the FA aren't implementing the rules of the game. If this game had took place in Italy, Spain, or anywhere else in the world, this would not have happened. Burnley would have had 2 or 3 players at least sent off, particularly that Chris Wood. Elbows going all over the place, deliberately elbowing people in the face, and so on and so forth. I'm sorry, if you think that's acceptable, show me in the rule book where it says that people are allowed to do that. Because as far as I'm concerned, it's cheating and he should have been sent off. Simple as. Okay, so the next game saw Liverpool play Crystal Palace at Anfield. Palace had a good result the previous weekend where they beat Tottenham 3-0. And Odesan Edouard scored 2 goals after he came off the bench. And I was surprised that he didn't start the game, to be quite honest, after that. But Patrick Vieira kept him on the bench again. And Palace played quite well, really, to be fair. But Liverpool just had too much for them, and they ran out easy 3-0 winners. And in that game, Sadio Mane scored his 100th goal for Liverpool, which is a massive achievement. So he did really, really well. And then the next game saw Manchester City take on Southampton. I thought that City would win that game by 4-0. And in fact, it ended in a 0-0 draw. And it was a game mired in controversy. The Manchester City right back ended up getting was sent off. Then the red card got rescinded, and there was a big hoo-ha with the VAR, and there was a penalty awarded, and then it wasn't a penalty. It was just an absolute mess. I mean, obviously, for me, the VAR isn't the problem. What the problem is the officials. They really need, the FA really need to look at the standard of refereeing, because it's an absolute joke. An absolute joke. Again, I go back to the Burnley Arsenal game. You got Chris Wood throwing elbows around all over the place, deliberately smacking people in the face. You wouldn't even get away with that in an Aussie rules game or a rugby match. And this is supposed to be football. Yes, it's a contact sport, but there are rules for this game. And none of it involves violent conduct being allowed to go unreprimanded. It's an absolute joke. It's farcical. And then the next game saw Aston Villa play Everton. Now, in this game, what's going on now? Aston Villa played Everton. Sorry, I missed one. Norwich played Watford. And this was a major shock for me, because I really thought that Norwich would turn them over. I thought Norwich played reasonably well against Arsenal in the game the previous weekend at the Emirates. And I thought that Norwich would be able to beat Watford fairly comfortably. I mean, I've seen a few of Watford's games this season, well, the highlights anyway, of Watford's games this season, and I haven't been that impressed, but they did really well. They took the lead, then Norwich equalised, and then they just put their foot down on the pedal and ended up winning the game by 3-1. So sadly for Norwich, it's looking a bit dicey, really. So yeah, they lost the game by 3-1. So I don't know. A friend of mine who's a big Norwich fan told me they're trying to adopt a new style and everything, but then they need to sort of have a sit down and think about where they're going and what their approach is going to be, because if this continues like this, to me, it's only going to result in one thing, and that's unfortunately seeing them being relegated. The next game was Aston Villa against Everton. Everton went into this game with loads of players missing, and they lost the game by 3-0. And Everton apparently have got a really poor record at Aston Villa. I didn't know this, but apparently they have. And yeah, they got trounced. And I actually thought that Everton would win the game by 2-1, but I wasn't expecting them to have so many players out for the game. So let's go. So Sunday's games. Sunday's games. What the hell's happened here? It's not going very well, is it, guys? Okay, so Sunday's games saw Brighton play Leicester City, and again another game which didn't go quite the way I thought it would. I actually had the game down as a 2-2 draw, because I think Brighton have been playing really well and Leicester have been stuttering a little bit. And but unfortunately for Leicester, they lost the game by 2-1. And again, this was another game that was marred by controversy regarding refereeing. So again, it's just the FA needs to do something about these referees, man. They really do. And then we had the Manchester United and West Ham game, and United won the game by 2-1. There was a penalty really late on in the game, and David Moyes decided to bring on what's the guy's name? Plays for West Ham, who takes the penalties. Well, I'm sorry, guy, I can't remember, but he brought on this guy to take a penalty right late in the game, and he missed the penalty. And Cristiano Ronaldo scored again, and the guy who was on loan last season at West Ham, he Mark Noble was the guy who missed the penalty there. Look, and Ben Rama scored for West Ham after half an hour. Ronaldo scored after 35 minutes, and Jesse Lingard, scored the winner for United in the last minute of the game. So, yeah, it was. There was a lot of controversy about David Moyes' decision to bring on Mark Noble to take that penalty, but you often see in like international games or games where games are going to go to penalties, if the scores are level, you get coaches bringing on players specifically for the purpose of taking penalties, but usually they don't come on to the pitch to just take a penalty. I mean, it's the sort of thing that happens in American football when they have like a kicker will come on to take a field goal or stuff like that. So yeah, it's just a bit weird, really. I didn't understand that at all. And then we had the Tottenham Chelsea game. Now let's just check before I do that one. No, so the last game of the day saw Tottenham play Chelsea, and it was also the last game of the match day. And Tottenham played Chelsea. I predicted that Chelsea would win the game by 2-0, and they in fact won the game by 3-0. Now at half time, the game was stuck in a stalemate at 0-0, and the second half, Chelsea just come on and like sort of put their foot down and ended up battering Tottenham by 3-0. So good win there for Chelsea. And we got some chats here. So hi, James says, hi, Warren, I hope you're well. Yeah, I'm good, mate. Thanks very much. Good to see you. Mark Noble, he brought on to take the penalty. Yeah, that's right, mate. And I'm a bit confused about that one, why he did that. But if it had worked and he'd scored, he would have been seen as a tactical masterclass. But unfortunately, it didn't quite work out that way. James said, Chelsea look good at the moment. Now, my favourites to win the title. Obviously, it's early days, but they look so strong. Yeah, they do, don't they? And with Lukaku up front, he just, like, he's quite reminiscent to me of Didier Drogba. And he's just an absolute beast of a player, to be honest. So I think I have to agree with you at the moment. I think that they're probably going to win the league as way things are going. But don't discount your city rivals, Liverpool, mate. Last season they had loads of players missing because of injury and whatnot, and it was a major. It caused a huge problem for them. So I'm sure that they're going to be there or thereabouts right to the end. And then United with Cristiano Ronaldo could have a shout, but I don't think they're going to win the league, not with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in charge. If they had an elite level coach, I think that they definitely would. So, but that being said, I think that they will do really well. So let's let's move on, as they say. So after this weekend's games, this is the league table as it currently stands. We've got Chelsea top with 13, and they share the lead with Liverpool and Manchester United. Brighton are fourth. They seem to be doing really well. They're not scoring many goals, but they're not conceding many either. But they're getting the results, and they're doing really, really well. So fair play to them. City are in fifth, and Everton are sixth. Poor result for Everton at the weekend at Aston Villa, but I think there were extenuating circumstances with that. So if I was an Everton fan, I wouldn't be too concerned about it. James has come in with another chat saying Liverpool, I think, will push Chelsea. The Manchester clubs, I'm not convinced at all. I think City need a proven goal scorer, a number 9, and they haven't got it. Gabriel Jesus can obviously play there, but I don't know, man. I'm not sure. I think they need a world-class striker. They were in for Harry Kane and whatever. So, I don't know. I think in January, if they want to win that title, I think they need to go and get one. Whether it's Kane or whether it's somebody else, but they definitely need one. They need a replacement for Aguero, that's for sure. So, yeah, that's the league table. Arsenal have jumped to 13th. Now it's 2 1-0 wins on the bounce, but I'm not convinced that. I'm not convinced. I think there's an issue with the attacking part of Arsenal's game. They look quite solid defensively, but that being said, that those 2 victories have been against teams that who are down the bottom. Well, they're in the bottom 2 now, those 2 clubs. So, you would expect them to win those games. But they've got Tottenham next after the League Cup games. So let's see what happens. And Leicester, surprisingly, are down in 12th. They're not doing well at all at the moment. So looks like Brendan Rodgers has got his work cut out there. So let's look, because this midweek we've got some League Cup ties. So let's have a quick look at those, see what those are. So hold on a sec. And I think James has come in with another chat. Warren, are you confident for the North London derby? I think you guys can get a result in that game. Yeah, I actually am, to be quite frank, James. The only thing is I do get really nervous for the North London derby. I hate playing Tottenham. I just can't bear it. I find it really, really stressful, I have to say. But yeah, I think we can beat them because they're not playing well at the moment, and Kane don't look interested. Obviously, Song is a big worry for me, but I think if Gabriel plays like he did against Burnley, I think we could stop them. But for me, it all depends whether or not Xhaka comes back into the team. Because I'm telling you now, if Xhaka gets played against Tottenham, I'm going to go ballistic. I really am, because he is just such a huge problem for Arsenal, having him in that midfield. I just don't think he's good enough. He just slows everything down. He's a liability because he gives the ball away too much. He gets caught in possession. He commits stupid fouls, gives away stupid free kicks or penalties. Like, for example, what I'm talking about is last year in the game against Burnley at Turf Moor. He played the ball across his own penalty area and didn't even look what he was doing. He just played it across his area. It went straight to their striker, and the ball ended up in the back of the net. I mean, when you were a kid at school, you get taught to look before you make the pass and not just blindly pass the ball across the penalty, and even get told not to play the ball across the penalty areas. And what does he do? He does the exact opposite. I mean, it was unbelievable, and he makes mistakes like that all the time. And it even led me to one stage to think he was doing it deliberately. It was just ridiculous. I mean, the man's supposed to be an international footballer and captain of his country, and he's making errors that an 8 or 9-year-old school child wouldn't make. It's just mad. So games we got tonight in the League Cup, as you can see, we've got Brentford against Oldham, Burnley against my friends Rochdale. You want to find out why I can refer to Rochdale as being my friends? Go and watch the video I put out. I think it was last week, the Groundhopper Diaries, when I told the story about what happened when I went to see Maidstone United play at Rochdale, and one of the Maidstone fans ran on the pitch and was stood on the edge of the 6-yard box screaming and shouting at the Maidstone goalie and waving his finger, and ended up getting arrested. It's just absolute madness. And then Fulham against Leeds, Manchester City against Wickham, Norwich against Liverpool, and that will be a good game, I'm sure. I think if both teams put their full strength teams out, I think Liverpool obviously were going to win it. But I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen because the thing is with this cup, you never know what teams are going to do and what they're going to do about fielding like full strength teams or not. And then you got Preston against Cheltenham Town, QPR against Everton. James, what do you think about your game at Everton tonight? Do you think you're going to win? Sheffield United against Southampton, Watford and Stoke, and then Wigan against Sunderland. So James is coming in the chat. I can see us getting knocked out tonight in the cup. Reason why I say that, the team Rafa will put out will be much weaker side, and the injuries to key players are a blow. I could be wrong, mate. You're probably not wrong, actually, because if Rafa's got these injuries to key players, he's not going to want to risk them, or if they're just starting to come back, I can't see him risking them in the League Cup. I really can't. But it depends what your youngsters or, fringe first-team players or reserves are like. I don't know how good they are. If they're really good players, you might get a result. But let's see. It'll be interesting to see what happens tonight in these games. And then James has come in and said our squad depth isn't that big as well. Well, there you go then. So it might be a bit of a tricky night for you, really. So let's have a look and see what's going to happen tomorrow. So Wednesday, if you've got Brighton against Swansea, Arsenal against AFC Wimbledon, Chelsea against Aston Villa, that should be a good game. Obviously, depending what sort of sides they both put out. Man United against West Ham, Millwall against Leicester, and Wolves against Tottenham. There's some really good games there tomorrow. So Man United against West Ham jumps out. Chelsea against Aston Villa jumps out. But it depends what sort of sides these clubs put out. I mean, if they go full strength, then they could be really good ties. But I've got a suspicion that they won't do that. Arsenal against Wimbledon. Now, for me, I'd like to see Arsenal making a few minor alterations to the lineup. I don't want to see wholesale changes because we've only realistically got 2 cups. We can only realistically have hopes of winning the 2 cups. We're not going to win the Premier League. We're not even going to get in the top 4. We're not going to get in the top 6, in my opinion. To me, we'll be lucky to finish in the top half of the Premier League if we keep this coach. I really believe that. But if it was me tomorrow, I would be tempted to try and keep the same back 4 as played against Burnley, just to give them more experience of playing together and build up a good understanding. I think that's really important. And maybe play that young kid Patino that everyone keeps raving about. Maybe give Balogun a go up front and Martinelli a game. But other than that, I wouldn't really want to see too many other changes, to be honest. James has come in with another chat. Surely you should beat Wimbledon. I can imagine some of your fans will go at the top if you do win against them. And that's the problem. They will. If we beat Wimbledon, like Terry will be going absolutely ballistic. He'll be trying to arrange a bus tour around, open top bus tour around Islington. It will just be unbelievable. I mean, that stream for the watch along on Saturday was just absolute madness. I mean, it just every single time that he does stream, it's getting worse and worse and worse. And I'm really concerned about what's going to happen, how he's going to react if Arteta ends up getting the sack. Because I think he's going to go for all the people who have wanted Arteta to be sacked. He really is. And I don't think he's going to handle it well at all. And then here we go. If you beat Tottenham, I'll probably hear the fireworks from a distance. Yeah, you will, mate. Especially with Terry, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Spoken word poetry comes in and says, "Bonjour, hello, Jamie. How you doing, mate? You looking forward to the game tomorrow against Wimbledon? What sort of lineup do you think Arsenal will put out against Wimbledon?" And he's come with another chat. I was happy Tottenham lost. I was as well, mate. I was absolutely delighted. The only thing that was a bit of a downer about it was the fact it was against Chelsea. Because I can't stand either club, to be quite frank. But there you go. And then Jamie says, "I'm great, thanks." Well, that's good to hear. I'm glad to hear that you're all right. I've just been going through the weekend fixtures in the Premier League. So let me just get up my thingy again. So, as a result of the weekend's games as well, what this means is good news for you, James, actually, because it means that you're still top of the table after 3 match days. You've got 30 points. I've got 19, and my mate Mickey's got 24. So I'm propping up the table. I'm still bottom of the league, and I'm in serious relegation trouble in my own prediction league. So it's not looking good. Jamie said that he's sad that Everton lost. Yeah, it was a bit strange, that one. I mean, poor Rafa, he's side got decimated by injuries and what have you. I just hope that the Everton fans don't turn on him if they have a negative result in the League Cup match this week, and then again at the weekend in the Premier League. And then Jamie said, yes, their money buys it. So James said, I just hope someone else other than City win the League Cup. They've won it 4 years in a row. Yeah, man, that is impressive. It really is, like winning it 4 years in a row. I mean, the thing is with City, they take the tournament very seriously. And they always put out a strong side, as far as I can see. So, you know, it just goes to show that, you know, you can, as Jamie says, if you put them invest in your squad, you can do really well. So right, guys, so I've nearly finished now. I just want to give a shout out to these other YouTube channels. There's the Old School Gunner YouTube channel. Great guy, does great Arsenal content. He was on my channel yesterday, and I was doing the second part of my interview with him, which is something I want to do going forward. I want to interview fans about their experiences of watching football since they started. I just think it's a really interesting thing to do. And then there's the 3 Pointers YouTube channel. It's 3 guys who are all Arsenal fans, and they talk about everything to do with Arsenal. Another great YouTube channel. And then Arsenal Alex, he's got another YouTube. He's got a really good channel as well, all Arsenal content. And then there's the infamous Claude and the Bansta's channel. I've put links to all their channels in the description, so please go and subscribe to their channels and make sure that you put a like on their videos and all that sort of stuff, because they're really, really good channels. And the Claude and the Bansters channel is one of my favourites. I absolutely love it, especially when the 2 presenters start going at each other and arguing. It's hilarious. And Jamie said, did you ever meet Claude? No, unfortunately I didn't, mate. Quite sad to say that I never got the chance to meet him. I would have loved to have met him, but yeah, sadly I didn't, unfortunately. How about yourself? Yeah, I've had the opportunity to meet him. And then James Dunlop says City should go all out for the Champions League. But last season was their best chance to win it. It was, and I really thought that they were going to win it. But the thing is, like Thomas Tuchel, the Tommy Turtle, as someone on YouTube calls him, or Tommy Tickle, he looks like he's a really good coach. He knows what he's doing, and he got that Chelsea team firing. He really did. And then Jamie Hill said, I never did, but I felt like I did. Yeah, exactly, because of his broadcasts on YouTube were like really, really great. You could see that he was completely honest and true what he was saying. There was no crap with him. It was just him like being a normal guy and saying what he thought. So that, yeah, no, it was, I agree with that's how I feel about it too, to be honest. So yeah, so that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed the show. James said I would have liked to have met Claude and talked to him about football. Truly missed. Yeah, absolutely, man. It was, mate. It was really sad what happened to Claude, and he will be missed. He really will, because he was a great guy. Great guy. Well, that's my opinion for what I saw of him on YouTube. So yeah, this afternoon, guys, I'm going to be on the Old School Gunners channel at 4:00 talking to him about football. Not quite sure exactly what we're going to be talking about, but it should be interesting. Old School Gunners, a great guy, and really knows his football, so it should be quite interesting. Anyway, so I hope you have a great day, and I look forward to seeing you all soon. So let's play out. Take care, guys, and like I say, I look forward to seeing you all soon. And thanks very much for coming in and watching my show as well. I meant to say that. Sorry about that. Oh, we've got enough chat. And James Dunlop says, cheers, Warren. See you soon, mate. Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully I'll see you again soon. Take care. Thanks a lot. Take care. Bye for now.